Man, I thought you would've learned the lesson. Bout liking pictures, not returning texts. I guess it's fine, man, I get the message. You still stutter after certain questions. You keep in contact with certain ex.
So y'all know who I am, and I'm guessing if you clicked on this, you know exactly why I'm here. You know, I stand before you today a humble servant of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because if you watched my last video talking about be careful, I gave her the benefit of the doubt. I did. I was talking about how the lyrics were probably about Offset and that it made sense even though her bars weren't really that crazy, and it turns out it was all a sham. Now, before we even get into that, I know a lot of people are gonna get ready to comment and be like, oh, I don't care. Well, that's great. If you don't care, you can go ahead and pick up a box of chocolates and start gobbling them bitches down, because some of us do, and this video is for those of us who care. So let's talk. You might know, or maybe you might not, because media is just suspiciously not covering this, that a reference track of a man named Pardison Fontaine came out, and it's a video of him rapping Be Careful word for word in 2014. And all I've seen from then have been excuses. So I just want to talk about the excuses. For the people that are like, oh, I know y'all weren't thinking that Cardi was writing her shit anyway. I don't feel that every time a woman is successful in rap that a man is writing her rhymes. So I never thought that anybody was writing for Cardi B. I didn't. I gave her the benefit of the doubt. I really did. Because I do think she somewhat writes. I do think she has help, and clearly it's from Pardison Fontaine. But people are like, oh, I know you didn't think Cardi was writing anyway. Well, then why were y'all so quick to then compare her or take accolades from Nicki Minaj when it was Bodak Yellow? Because when it was Bodak Yellow was out, everybody was like, oh, it's ill. Oh, Nicki's dead. It's over for you. As if it was all her. But the people that say, oh, well, it's not an issue and Drake doesn't write his rhymes. Drake gave away most of his best music for free for years before he started selling music, and then even didn't start enlisting the help of ghostwriters until he started making pop music, and then until way later in his career. I don't give a shit if Drake wrote Started From the Bottom or not, but I do give a shit if Drake wrote Paris Morton music, and no one else could write Paris Morton music besides Aubrey the Drake the Graham. So you can leave that shit alone too. There are 17 writers on Be Careful, which I'm already like, okay, wow, alright. But out of the 17, Pardison Fontaine was not named in the 17, but apparently now they're saying that he is this guy called Jordan Thorpe. And Jordan Thorpe is clearly what his mama named him. We know in writing credits that they use your government name, so that's fine. But I went ahead and decided to look up his name to see what else maybe he's done. The only thing he has credited are Be Careful, Bodak Yellow, and the G-Eazy records. So that means he personally works with Cardi. The way media's trying to stitch this up is that they're trying to say that people are accusing Cardi of stealing the song from Pardison Fontaine, and that she didn't steal it, they work together. There's not a song that I've ever seen that has said Cardi B featuring Pardison Fontaine, so they don't work together. He works for her. Can you not see that? A lot of people don't understand what a reference track is, so let me cover that base real quick. A reference track is when the person who wrote the song goes in the studio and performs it so you can hear how the song is meant to be performed, and so that way you can perform it the same way. Cadence, inflections, everything. The way the lines are to be punched, it is so that way you know to a T how this song is supposed to sound. That is what we found. Ain't nobody saying Cardi stole shit. We know she ain't steal shit, but we do know that that was a reference track. So that being said, as just a logical boy from a logical world, if we could see just how similar his version of Be Careful is to the version she put out, does that not call Bodak Yellow into question? Does it? Am I crazy? And it's so crazy that people are trying to act like this shit just didn't happen. Like, it really happened. If a video came out of Safari lip-syncing into a camera Nicki's Monsterverse while his version played in the background, my nigga, do you know how fast her shit would have been done? Niggas would have canceled Pink Friday. She would have never been able to become anything that she is. And that's my problem, is because the media is so afraid of what Atlantic is gonna do, they're not even posting it. The Shade Room wouldn't even post the video. They only posted a picture and told people to search the Cardi B hashtag on Instagram to get the video. That was hours late, because hours before somebody DM'd the Shade Room and said, post the video. Oh, you won't because you're on her payroll. And they said, we're on no one's payroll. The short version is some things we can't post because they're potential lawsuits, not because we're biased. Everyone's afraid. DJ Academics, why haven't you posted it? East Coast Renaissance, why haven't you posted it? People have even gone as far to say, oh, well, Beyonce didn't write all her records for Lemonade, but they applied. Beyonce's not a rapper, and if y'all are gonna accept Cardi B as a rapper and put her in the conversation with MCs, then she's gonna be held to that standard. If y'all don't want her to have to abide by by MC rules, keep her out of the MC conversation. And that means when real female MCs come through, not just talking about Nicki Minaj, but I'm talking about Rhapsody, I'm talking about Angel Hayes, I'm talking about Malibu Mitch, I'm talking about LaKaylee 47, I'm talking about Megan Thee Stallion. Do not make them have to compete with girls who have niggas writing for them. I'm sorry, it's the same thing in the Olympics. If you want to use performance enhancing drugs, you cannot compete in the Olympics. So back to the analogy that I was using last video, right? Because I really do think that Cardi B has the ability to write her own records. I want to believe that. I do. I really do. I do want to believe that because a lot of the things she says that has her personality in it, if she's not directly writing them, she's definitely contributing somehow. So I used the analogy about school in the last one. If you haven't watched it, go ahead and watch it. You know, like when you're in school, right? And you have a paper due and it's like real late. You haven't had time to collect your sources, but you know your paper deadline is tomorrow at 9 a.m. So you go where? Wikipedia. And you cheat, you plagiarize. And I feel like underneath the pressure of having to deliver, because she can't just get the album and turn it in, it also has to be good, then she might have started sourcing other sources to put out a good project in a short amount of time. But then guess what your teacher does when they find out you plagiarize? They fail you. And sometimes they even kick you out of school, bro. Don't nobody say nothing to me about this album, because to me, this whole album is in question. Don't tweet no Cardi bars and be like, oh, Nicki Minaj, where you at? Because I know y'all are waiting to do it. I will listen to it. I might like it, but who's to say she has anything to do with this shit? Who's to say? I feel like people are gonna discredit this because most of this rhetoric is coming from Nicki Minaj fans. But you have to understand that all Nicki fans want to do is level the playing field and make sure everybody has to abide by the same rules that are being provided to Nicki. And we all know that if we had any confirmation that anybody was running for Nicki Minaj, niggas would have just deaded her career off. And yes, Nicki does claim to be an MC and she takes that on, but she takes it on because she is. I think that anybody with common sense would just want fairness in that decision, because we all know that Nicki would be destroyed if we ever saw anything like that. And you're never gonna find anything like that because Nicki writes. And you can go ahead and you can search her credits. The songs where she's rapping, she's the only one that's credited because she's the only one. Maybe on a pop song because it takes that many people to craft a pop song, but you're just not gonna find that on a rap song. And I know a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, why is Nicki even being brought up? Because this is Nicki's game. And so if the rules apply to Nicki and she's the top dog, absolutely the rules are gonna apply to everyone down to Bad Baby. Everyone. So absolutely it applies. I honestly don't know if she was underneath these intense constraints that she would have even enlisted the help of a ghostwriter, because I do feel like she really wants to put out her own music, but I feel like Atlantic is really forcing her hand. And the only reason why I'm saying that Atlantic is really forcing her hand is because if things were done and they were taken care of and loose ends were sealed, that video would have never been found. But when you're scrambling to move and just get things out, sometimes you forget to tie up a loose end like that. All I'm saying is this should take Cardi B out of the Nicki Minaj conversation forever. I don't ever want to hear nobody saying, damn Nicki, Cardi album was better. Cardi's album was written majority by Pardison Fontaine. You might not be able to tell me that I'm right, but you really can't confirm that I'm wrong. So you do what you want with that doubt. I'm gonna go back to eating this Popeyes that the good Lord delivered to me, because I ain't got shit else to say about this. This is just crazy. I hope this made some sense to you. If it don't make some sense to you, I tried my best. I just don't have anything else to say about it. So let me know how you feel about ghostwriting. Is it okay that Cardi B has ghostwriters? Is it not okay that Cardi B has ghostwriters? How do you feel that that's gonna affect the conversation of the album? Is it going to? Should it? Should it not? I feel like it should affect the conversation of the album, absolutely. But I do not feel that media is going to allow it to affect the conversation because they like Cardi B and because Atlantic is throwing around that bag. Let me know how you feel in the comments, and if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. If not, suck a dick, and I'll be seeing you guys later. Deuce! Atlantic has decided to scramble, like in that episode of SpongeBob where all the little SpongeBobs were in his brain running around because they threw out his name in the file cabinets and shit.
What's his name? What's his name? I got nothing on a name. Come on, baby, what's the name?